Welcome to the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast with your host, Ed Rakeen.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever, and wherever you may be listening to us, you have your ears locked into the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. My name is Ed Rakeen. I'm your host for these festivities, and not joining us, as almost never, is the muscle Jaime, but also joining us is my tag team partner, my arch nemesis, my very best friend. You know him from all around the internet, including Twitch TV, but you can only find his wrestling stuff right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jenny Bananas.
What's up, guys? Man, is this like 2 shows in like a 7-day time period?
It's something.
New year, new Caps Locks and Chair Shots.
I'm telling you, it's a new dawn. And also joining me, this man is very familiar with laying the smackdown on everybody, and he loves wrestling so much, he may just be too kayfabe to care. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome for the Purple Greyhound himself, Adam.
What's up, guys? I'm ready to talk some wrestling, man. I'm excited. Royal Rumble 2 weeks away.
All right, guys. We had a ring-shattering week for the WWE. It's been 7 days since we recorded last, but technically it's only been 4 since a show was posted due to poor time management and a lack of editing on my part.
Imagine that.
I know. I'm a terrible human being. But without further ado, let's kick this show off with how we kick every show off, and that is with our one big thing. So, Danny boy, take it away.
WWE thinks very highly of Braun Strowman.
Yeah, okay. Adam, what do you got?
I was going to go with something like that, but I'll switch it up just a tad and say that Finn Balor being put into this match that we will talk about is 10 times better than what we would have gotten.
I completely agree with you. So let's start right there on Monday Night Raw. And was the title shot stripped from Braun to cover his elbow not being fully healed?
No, it wasn't. From what I've read and what I've heard, this was the plan all along, was to debate us as fans. The plan was always Finn and Brock. Brock has to work with Finn, apparently.
You mean to tell me that Vince McMahon swerves the fans?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do this at Evolution, right? Like, they didn't tell us it was going to be Bliss versus Trish Stratus and then Epic. Oh, wait.
Well, Alexa was hurt then, though.
That was always the plan all along, too, though. Was for that to be a tag match. It was just a bigger draw to have them two go up against each other. Which, personally, I think the bigger draw was Brock versus Finn anyway. And,
I agree. Because we haven't seen it.
Right. Not only have we not seen it, but you also think of the fact that which I hope they don't do it, because I think there's like a 10% chance that Finn actually wins this belt at the Rumble.
No chance.
But Demon Finn, if you could have built that up, that would have been even better.
What are the chances that we see Demon Finn?
I hope we don't.
Yeah,
Demon Finn has never lost, and I don't want to see Demon Finn lose anytime soon.
Well, would it be a bigger deal if he does beat Brock, and then at WrestleMania we get the return? Which apparently is not guaranteed anymore.
He's not beating Brock. Strowman's winning
don't beat Brock. It hasn't been built up, man. Like, to have a title change like that, build it up a little bit. Don't just do it out of nowhere like that. If Vince McMahon's a smart guy, he wants to get as much hype into this match, a match that is going to have a title change as possible to make as much money as possible, in my opinion.
Okay, but think about it. They started this new era of 2019 and everything's shaken up. I mean, how big of a shakeup do you think this would promote if all of a sudden, wow, this guy wasn't in the title picture 2 weeks ago, and now he just beat Brock Lesnar? Like, that screams a shakeup, doesn't it? And if that's what they're trying to go for, I mean, wouldn't it make sense there?
I hear you.
Yeah, it would. It would be a cool moment. I'm not saying it wouldn't.
I hear you. But the thing is it's going to be Brock versus Strowman at Mania.
Do we know that for certain?
I disagree.
I 100% think that's for certain.
So
I mean, I don't have any confirmation anywhere, but I have a feeling that I would say I am 90% sure that it's Brock versus Strowman, and Strowman takes the belt off Brock at Mania.
okay. Now I want to call something into question here, and that is the fact that he lost a world title shot over a limo door. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, they blew up buses, used monster trucks to run over vehicles. They kept their belts. They kept their title shots. They stayed in big matches. Braun rips the door off a limo, and now he's out.
It's a new era.
Don't piss Vince McMahon off. It just depends on what he ate that day.
Well, I mean, isn't the old phrase "don't cross the boss"?
Well, he got it stripped away because Braun didn't like that it was going to cost him $100,000.
Or I was going to say, was it really stripped away because of the limo door, or was it stripped away because he said that $100,000 was overpriced? Like, was it questioning Vince McMahon's financial knowledge, or was it actually damage to the property?
I took it as financial knowledge.
Okay. So, Vince's stockbroker, I wonder how his job security is.
Solid.
I wonder if they bought stocks in AEW.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that later. But let's switch gears here. Let's talk about, Finn Balor, since he's very much in the middle of this. He had a pretty damn good night, didn't he? I mean, beating Jinder Mahal and then pinning John Cena, which also comes with beating Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. That's a pretty good night, right?
I am so tired of Corbin.
Really?
They just need to repackage him. They want
already
to repackage him. Yes, Constable Corbin, the whole thing just needs to go away.
I liked it more than his last gimmick, though. I mean, which one did you like better?
I preferred Lone Wolf.
Really? They just didn't do anything with him, though. Like, he was just like, at least now he's, I don't know, not a headline spot. I guess he is in a headline spot.
Let's put it this way. When you see Corbin, right, in a match with Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, and John Cena, who do you think is the least likely to win that match?
But remember, it's Vince McMahon's new 2019 where anything can happen.
The part that drives me nuts about Corbin is that he wears a suit when he wrestles now, or like nice clothes. What? You're still a wrestler. You still have wrestling gear.
See, that's the other thing too. That's why I don't like this whole thing. I don't like this whole gimmick right now. Like, I get wrestling in a suit when you were Constable Corbin or whatever, right? But like, look at Angle or look at Shane. None of those guys wrestle in nice clothes.
Well, Shane wrestles in Jordans and jersey, so.
But I mean, that's his ring attire. Like, give Corbin some time. I'm done with the Corbin conversation. I'm just done with Corbin. I wish he would go away for a while and come back. I think he's good. I like him. I was a fan of his. Ed can attest to that. But as this is growing, I am just done with him.
Were you as big of a fan of his as Jaime was?
No, definitely not.
I was going to say, because, I mean, that's a man crush right there.
So, but the whole Finn Balor thing is, I mean, they built him up very well. They had John Cena give him his little sign of approval, which is a big thing for the viewing audience, at least, because everybody truly believes John Cena is the man, which is fine. But to me,
well, hold on. He's not? Like, it sounds like you don't believe that.
Okay, no, listen, hear me out. For like marks like us, I don't think we consider Cena to be the man because we look at work rate a lot more and things like that. I don't look at him as the man.
Have we never met before?
He's the poster boy, but he's not the guy anymore. Like that's what but that's away from my point. Finn Balor, I mean, he's getting built up, which is awesome, and putting him in this match with Brock is great. And I'll go back to one of the last times I was on this podcast, and you and Jaime were saying that Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan was going to be a terrible match, and it was like arguably a top 10 match of the year. And who said that was going to happen? I did. And it's going to be the same thing this time. Brock's going to toss him around. Finn's going to make him look great, and it's going to be a heck of a match. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I will admit that. You are right on that. And I was wrong. And after that match, I thought about it, and I was like, actually, a lot of some of Brock's best matches as of late have been against smaller guys.
Absolutely.
Styles, Ebrai. So I will admit fault there.
Now, hold on. Let's point something out here. Dan mentioned two guys, and that's a year's workload for Brock Lesnar. Just want to throw that out there, but continue, Dan.
That's his contract, though. I mean, it is what it is. Let's be honest, he's there for the money.
I will say, so I was at Mania Live. Weird flex, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and actually rewatched the Lesnar-Roman match from Mania this past year.
Bloodbath.
I didn't think that match was that bad, but man,
it wasn't. It really wasn't.
The audience live.
Yeah.
See, the thing is like you could just tell, like before the match started.
They didn't want it from the start.
Yep.
They didn't want it at all.
I actually did get annoyed.
And really, that killed the match. If the audience would have been into it, that would have been a heck of a match, man.
Okay.
I think it was pretty good.
Let's come back. Let's come back. Let's not talk about Mania. That was 10 months ago. Another thing.
Sorry.
Yeah. Another thing about the whole Finn Knight situation was we heard a 2-word phrase that we haven't heard in quite some time. Ruthless aggression, which, if we all remember, was the first 2 words John Cena had ever said on WWE television, at least on SmackDown. So my question to you guys, Daniel, do you have ruthless aggression?
I do not have ruthless aggression.
How about you, Adam?
I get pissed off sometimes. I don't know if you want to call it ruthless, but
well,
every once in a while, it happens.
Ed, I know what you're hinting at, and no, it's not coming back. That's why I told you I don't have ruthless.
Definitely not coming back. Yeah.
No. You see, the thing was, when this rundown was written, Jaime had plans on being a part of the show. He is MIA. And that question was supposed to make fun of him because, I mean, the guy tried to be a wrestler, then tried to be an MMA fighter, then tried to be a wrestler again. Now he's building race cars or doing Twitch or whatever. That was supposed to be.
He deserves to be buried for not being here right now.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
He was the driving force behind us even having a show tonight. So,
let's be honest. I highly doubt he will even listen to the show.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of things that,
And he just viewed the message in our chat.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley is the new Intercontinental Champion. Why? Adam, can you answer me this?
I'll tell you why. The Seth Dean thing doesn't need a title at all. And that title, you use that title to elevate somebody, and Lashley needs it. He really does need it. It gives him a presence in the mid-card, something that fans can dig their teeth into a little bit and actually care.
Agree. Daniel? Yes? No?
Why? I can't tell you why. Do I like it? I do like it. I think that maybe Lashley's little friend might have been a better Intercontinental Champion.
That was actually my next question. How long until that goes sour and Leo Rush challenges Lashley for?
I don't think that happens.
Really?
Yeah, that'd be fun, though, man.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if you have watched any of Leo in the ring yet.
I have. I've seen him live a couple of times.
So
when he's on the Indies.
Yeah, that question was aimed at me because I am so anti-independent wrestling. But continue, Dan, please.
All right. I think that would actually be a good match, but I don't see Vince letting. I respect that. I don't see Vince letting that happen.
Oh, it probably won't happen. But I just want to show you guys. I got his autograph. No big deal.
He actually.
By the way, hold on, Dan. I have that autograph too. By the way, it came in a pro wrestling box that I subscribed to. I have his autograph as well. I also got Conan's, too. I got like 8 of them before I canceled the thing because it was way overpriced and the t-shirts didn't fit. Anyway, yeah, Dan lives really close to him.
MCW, which is where he trained, and Velveteen Dream trained, and a couple other guys. That's like 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah, another weird flex from Dan.
No, that's one of the biggest independent promotions on the East Coast.
I bet it is, and you're still bragging about it, still talking about it a year and a half later.
I mean, Ed, whenever you want to come on down, we can go to a show. There's one this Friday. You coming?
I will be at the OVAC Wrestling Championship, so I'll be at my own wrestling show. One where I'm kind of a big deal. Let's move on. Is anybody else tired of Ronda and Sasha Banks? Anybody else just tired of it? I thought the segment they had on Raw made them look bad, for lack of a better term. Am I wrong there, Dan?
Dan just went MIA.
Oh, wow. So, bye, Dan. Okay.
I'll tell you how I feel. Does anybody really think that Sasha is over? I'm sick of everybody says that they like Sasha, but she doesn't get a big pop when she comes out. She doesn't. I think her work's solid, but I'm over her. She was 2016 was her year. She's not doing anything for me right now. So this is just a get me over period for Ronda to get her to Mania, in my opinion. She ain't dropping a title, no way.
Dan?
Let me put it to you this way. Sasha Banks will fight for 2 title matches within the next month. The first one will be where she loses to Ronda Rousey at the Royal Rumble. The second one will be where she has a very likely chance of winning the tag team belts at Elimination Chamber.
You know what?
With Bayley.
Let's go there. Let's talk.
I would like that.
Let's talk about that for a second. Why are the women's tag team titles being debuted at the Elimination Chamber, and why are they in the chamber?
So, at the Elimination Chamber?
Is that official? It's in the chamber?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it is.
That's interesting.
I can't tell you why at Elimination Chamber, but I do like that since they, maybe because that's a get me over in a way, because they don't have anything really big.
Yeah, put something on the card that they can hype up.
Yeah, so it's a ticket seller. They don't really need to sell tickets for Rumble right now, because if they were going to announce that, they would have announced that a while ago. In the chamber, I don't know why, but I like it.
What?
It's different.
It's whatever. It's different. I agree with that. It's just like the Finn and Brock thing. We haven't seen it. We don't really know what to expect. And as wrestling fans, that's what you crave. You don't crave seeing the same thing for 6 months. You want to see different stuff. So it's something different. I totally agree.
I mean, I'm just not sold that the Iconics are going to be able to be utilized in an Elimination Chamber correctly. You know, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, okay. You know, Bayley and Sasha, sure. Fine.
Yeah.
I get that.
We're going too quick. Let's go through who we think's going to be in there.
Well, okay, let's go there. So, obviously the Iconics.
The Boston Hug Connection.
If that's what they're going to go with, yeah, is that their actual name?
I mean, they have shirts that say it.
God, wow. That is such a... okay. Who else we got? Natty and somebody, I guess.
I was thinking Tamina and Nia.
Okay,
yeah,
sure. Does Naomi bring back the Funkadactyls?
No.
God, no.
Come on.
Maybe you get like a secret team or something.
The Riot Squad has to be in that, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Riot Squad, yeah.
I would just love to see Brodus Clay dancing on the stage while Naomi and what was the other one's name?
You don't even know. That's how irrelevant they are.
I think her real name was Cameron.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's Cameron and Naomi. While they sit there and do the dancing thing, and you just see Brodus Clay with all of his 400-pound, tyrousness just dancing on the stage.
Feel the glow.
I would love that. Somebody call his mama, because that.
You gotta assume what? How many? What is it? It's 5 chambers, so there would be 7
4
teams?
chambers, right?
Yeah,
4 chambers, so 6 teams.
Yeah.
It's 3 from each. Yeah, 3 from each. So yeah, 6 teams with 1 team active or 2 teams active in the ring, I guess.
In the middle, yeah. The problem I have, obviously found out that I was in the chamber. When you think about the chamber, they pose it as this diabolical thing, and it's hard to get behind these beautiful women getting down and dirty in this thing.
That is not hard to get behind.
We're gonna talk about Daniel. Daniel, we're gonna talk about that later on in the show, but let's stay focused here. We get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, Awesome Kong should be involved in there somewhere. We get that, but
Karma, as they call her.
No, she's Awesome Kong. I mean, whatever. But I just that was the point I was trying to make. I mean, I really don't want to see Mandy Rose and Billie Kay go at it on the steel grating next to the ring in an elimination chamber.
Stop!
I don't enjoy that. I wouldn't enjoy that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I'd probably enjoy it. I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy it.
I 100% will be home for elimination chamber.
Yeah, I understand you will be, Daniel. Aren't these better served debuting at Mania though? I mean,
probably, but like Dan said before,
you don't need it to be over. Yeah, you don't need to sell it.
And they would probably at Mania they would probably do it in like the pre-show or something where it just doesn't do them any justice at all.
This just seems like it's a palate cleanser match that should go on third to last at Mania. Because they're debuting a brand new set of titles, and Mania gives it significance.
It would be a popcorn, though, man.
Exactly. That's what they've used women's wrestling for the last 33 WrestleManias. That's what they've used it for.
Yeah, but we just said a new WWE, man.
I don't know. I'm just... what do you guys think about the way it looks? I mean, it's definitely not
the... like the Divas Championship.
I was just going to say, it doesn't look like the butterfly belt to me. Daniel, yeah. What are your thoughts?
I like it because it's different, and it's just not the men's belt put on white straps.
Yeah, I do like it. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I got that Divas Championship vibe.
I can see that, and but for me, it was more so like, okay, you think of the women's title, it's literally just the men's belt on a different colored strap, right?
And so a red plate or a blue plate in the middle.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I liked it because it was different.
Hey, that's a quality, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. That's the definition of a quality. Is, men's belt, women's belt, the exact same thing. It's 2019. It is 2019.
Yeah, you are one. Let's just go. Let's just scroll.
Title 9, Daniel. Title 9.
Let's just scroll through Matt's Facebook right here.
Anyway, anybody got anything else about Raw we want to talk about?
Raw.
Anybody?
No, not really.
No?
No, not really.
Let's go live to the Philippines. Jaime, do you have anything?
Well, you'll see.
Maybe boot. Okay.
No, I don't have anything.
All right. Daniel, hot girl of the show.
Ed, I am sorry to do this, but when an intern walks in on one of my favorite female wrestlers, there is no way that Alexa Bliss is not the hot girl of the show.
I'm okay with it.
I'd like to get to know her, man.
And let me just say, if that segment didn't happen,
I'm okay with it.
Was coming in.
I'm okay with it. Let's move on. Let's talk about SmackDown. I need you guys to answer me a question, and I want to, I don't even care if it stays PG. What is in Heavy Machinery's protein shake?
Crack.
You think?
Heavy drugs.
I'm also just going to say the Heavy Machinery is going to be the revival as far as how they're used.
But funnier?
I do not like them in NXT. I am not excited for them to come up to the main roster. I think they are terrible. I think they should have been released a long time ago.
A little sidebar to that, you just said something about the revival. I just read they asked for their release.
Yep.
And who could really blame them? They are really not being used to what they.
I can tell you where they're going to go. I can tell you where they're going to sign.
Yeah, Dan, I'm right there with you because I mean, just off the top of my head, what was the catchphrase we were saying a year ago about that tag team? I believe it was started by the Ammunition Group or the Firing Company, or what was it?
Oh, I think it was Fuck the Revival.
Just so much for not cussing anymore, but yes.
Oh, I thought you said this wasn't saying PG. This is the second time I've said that word.
Yeah, uh-huh. Well, you see, you can say it one time and it'd still be PG. Yeah.
Is that a rule?
Yeah. Oh, what movie was that? The Be Cool. John Travolta, that's like John Travolta's opening line in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, watch it. Very good. Rock plays a gay guy. I mean, it's believable. I mean, it's an awesome movie. Definitely recommend it.
It's believable, he said.
I mean, he does the monologue from one of the cheerleading movies. It's fantastic. Y'all need to watch it. But yeah, it's. I forgot where I was going with that. Let's move on. In your opinion, Adam, let's hear from you first. Which is a better feud, Becky and Asuka, or AJ and D-Bry?
I mean, to me, it's AJ and Daniel Bryan easily. I don't. Anything Becky touches right now is gold. I think Asuka's just absolutely overrated. Not her work, but like everything else about her, I'm really not a fan. AJ and Daniel Bryan, they haven't technically yet, but they will have some of the best matches we may ever see. Just saying.
Dan? Agree?
For entertainment purposes.
No, not for entertainment purposes. We've never been entertaining. What is your actual thoughts?
AJ and D-Bry.
You think?
Yeah, I just think the work's going to be a little bit better. I think Becky and Asuka are going to do great. But Asuka can't really... If Asuka could work on the mic...
She can't cut a promo, man. And that's what you care... Like, that's...
Like, for me, if this was Charlotte Becky, 100% better than AJ D-Bry.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's...
Well, they already proved that.
That's the feud of the decade.
I'm just saying, for equality reasons, as Ed liked to say earlier, I would just like to say that I think that a women's rivalry is better than the current men's rivalry that I think I was looking forward to the most. I think I would have liked this rivalry more if AJ would have been heel and D-Bry would have been face.
No, I completely disagree with you. Because Daniel Bryan is a boring face. He's just boring.
His yes thing is getting played out, and I think that's why they had to change it.
Sure, no, I don't disagree with that, but he's the ultimate underdog.
So was Rey Mysterio.
Right, I think Rey and D-Bry would be better.
We're gonna talk. You know what? Let's skip a few things we were gonna talk about before then. Okay, for one, why did they drop Andrade Cien Almas to just Andrade? Why?
Who knows, dude?
Dude, I don't, because Vince likes one thing. Lars Sullivan will soon be just Lars.
I think Sullivan's better.
Did Almas, did he own that name maybe? And Vince wants to own just Andrade, possibly? I don't really know, but I know Vince wants to own everything, like own the names, trademark everything he can, so...
I think if they're going to go and call him anything, El Igolo is the best thing you can call him right there.
Or Cien.
Tranquilo!
Yeah, Cien. I mean, and that kind of plays into having a feud with Ty Dillinger.
I'm still going to be listening, but I'm going to go to the official roster page to see what they have his name listed as.
I'm sure it's just Almas, or whatever, Andrade by now,
But I'm just saying, like, if you just call him Cien, boy, doesn't that just scream a feud with Ty Dillinger? Well, if you're a 10, I'm 100. You know what I mean? I mean,
that would be good. I would enjoy that, and maybe that's just so obvious that that Vince wouldn't do it. It's like, no, they want it. I'm not going to give that to them, kind of thing.
But
we'll save that.
It's
so I completely forgot, by the way, and I'm really sorry, but I can't. I actually got to change the hot girl of the show.
This is a first.
It's got to be Toni Storm.
Who's that?
That is the new WWE champion.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. We got to verify this. Checking now. Hold on. We got to make sure she's up to Dan's standard.
She passes the test.
Well, I'm checking now.
Is Andrade on the website?
Daniel. Okay. I'm okay with it. She's...
Hey, Ed, I just want you to go into a private browser and search her name so Anna doesn't find anything.
Oh, no, because I've been burned with that in the past, Daniel. Thank you, but no. Let's get back to what we were talking about. The match he had with Rey Mysterio last night. Match of the year. I mean, first 2 weeks.
Easy.
Yeah. But
Unreal, dude.
Match of the last
Unreal match.
10 months since Mania.
It's like, when you look at that match and you're like, Rey Mysterio is like 44. What? Is that even possible? The stuff he's doing? This rivalry. It's like perfect. It's like the way they've been doing it, and they gave them the time to do what they wanted to do to pop that crowd. That match was so hot. It's beyond words, man. It was awesome.
Now,
didn't I say a few weeks ago that I would absolutely love to see this keep going and build?
And that's my next thing. I'm really happy with how we're kind of playing into what I wanted to do, which is very rare for us to actually stick to something like this. But is this a passing of the torch for the Latino wrestling part of the WWE? Is this maybe Rey handing off it to Andrade? Because obviously it didn't work with El Patron Del Rio, Perro, whatever the hell he calls himself.
I don't think so yet, but I think that's what it's getting towards.
Hmm.
I think Rey is going to have one big run in him with his current contract. I don't think Rey would have came back just to pass the torch to Aldis.
I mean, now think about it though. How important is that to the lucha culture to do stuff like that? And now this is what's happening, and we all know Rey in tradition, how much it speaks to him and everything else. I mean, that's...
I hear you, and I understand what you're saying, but it's too soon in this comeback for him to pass that torch.
But what if this is the comeback? Like, what if this is it? What if Mania is his last hurrah?
It's not it.
We don't know
I'm
that.
not sure about this, but I'm pretty sure Rey he signed a 2-year contract.
With an opt-out of 18 months.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not a lot of time. If you really think about it, you got what?
Especially with...
5, 6 good storylines you could do in that time?
Well,
so,
that's not counting the fact that Rey's injured a lot.
I think this is a really good way that they're building Cien up. By having him go about going... I think this is Rey... Maybe this is Rey passing the torch in the sense that he's helping build Almas into that next great lucha in the WWE's eyes. But I don't think this is him, quote unquote, passing the torch just yet.
Okay. All right.
Can I say something about that? This is stuff like people back in the day, like Randy Savage. He wanted to make guys. That's what he prided himself on. And I think when you become a veteran in wrestling, I don't know, I'm not a wrestler, but I've just heard this multiple times. You pride yourself on making other guys.
Well,
so I
absolutely.
think this is what Rey is doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the veteran guys now. I mean, let's call a spade here. Hulk Hogan did it with The Rock at, what, was it 17? 18, sure. And then, I mean, criticize me for this if you want, but John Cena with Kevin Owens, John Cena with Edge, John Cena with CM Punk. Really, I mean, Punk didn't really need it, but still, I mean, Cena was the veteran, and without John Cena, CM Punk may not have risen to the heights that he did. The Undertaker with Randy Orton. The Undertaker with Jeff Hardy. I mean, this is... That was a good one. This is...
Bringing it back, man. So many good memories.
Well, we're going to talk about good memories here in a bit. Now, has Mustafa Ali flamed out already? It seems like he's burned. Like, they're burning him on a weekly basis. They shot him up for like 2 weeks, and now he's being fed to Samoa Joe. Is he gone, Dan? Like, is he?
I don't know.
Was he just something we all hoped would happen, and then we saw a glimpse of what could happen, and now it's not going to happen?
I don't know. They do this stupid.
You can only have so many people on the card. You can only build so many people up at one time.
Oh, I disagree.
I don't think he's burnt out, man. I'd say he's probably a top 5 worker in the business right now. Maybe not the business, but in WWE. And no, it's peaks and valleys, man. Ups and downs.
This is my issue. This is one of my biggest issues with the WWE. They don't build. You can still build a wrestler and their character when they lose, and they lack doing that.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But at the same time, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if we say, well, Ali got the hype, that wasn't their point there. They're trying to push Samoa Joe, and they need somebody to help him be pushed. And Mustafa Ali, just like I was saying, he's a great worker. Put him with Joe. Get Joe over.
At any point in that match, did you think Ali had a chance to win?
No. But that's not the point, though.
But see, that's what I mean by they can build a guy when he loses.
No, the whole point wasn't to build Ali, though. The point was to have Joe demolish somebody that was adequate.
Then feed him Kurt Hawkins.
You need somebody viable, though.
That's the thing.
His gimmick is losing.
Right, yeah. I know, but I mean, I just feel like you're wasting one of your better talents. Then keep him give him to another main roster guy.
But who would have carried the precedence?
Cruiserweight talents.
Who would have carried the precedence of, I mean, if you send Samoa Joe out there to beat up Dash Wilder, it doesn't carry the same effect as Mustafa Ali, who's going to be billed as the next Daniel Bryan, as the next great underdog. I mean, Joe demolished that guy.
I will tell you guys that they could have fed him too. Why you're not doing anything with Sanity? Why not give him Eric Young or one of those guys?
Eric Young's fragile, and I think they're protecting Sanity for something bigger. And I mean, I got a name for you that may help, and it may just get him on television again. How about Mojo Rawley? What has he done since Mania? He had like 3 weeks during the summer.
On Raw like that actually matters, and anybody pays attention to that.
I didn't know he was on Raw. I didn't even know he still had a contract. I'm just saying.
Why not Shelton Benjamin?
Is he on the he's on the roster?
He's also on Raw, isn't he?
No,
he is on SmackDown. That's right. Okay, Adam, I'm going to take something from you. We had it planned for later in the show, but I just saw it again. I think it was on Facebook or YouTube or something. Do y'all remember the Monday Night Football Raw promo with Shelton Benjamin where Vince McMahon was basically a racist and then made out with Trish Stratus, who was covered in only a towel and a facial mask? Does anybody remember that beautiful bit of comedy?
I sure do.
My God. Dan, you have to look it up. It's like the greatest thing ever. You're going to love it. I promise.
Can I point something out real quick? We said Eric Young. Does anybody realize that Ed and Eric Young look like really, really similar? Just saying.
No, Eric Young's a lot more attractive.
Wow.
Really, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm fine with saying that.
Okay, fair enough. Let's get back. Given what Joe did, what Joe's been on a roll doing, is he a favorite for the Royal Rumble now? I mean, he kind of always was, but...
They'll hype him as it, but he ain't going to win.
Yeah, he's not.
Well, we're going to get to our second edition of the way too early Royal Rumble picks now that the card has drastically changed. So, Joe, 6, 7 eliminations and then get fluked pushed out? Sound about right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, fair enough. Dan, this question...
I could see him doing, like, they hype up, like, the final 4 people. I could see him being, like, the final 4 kind of thing.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on.
Well,
Daniel, this next question is for you. We saw the whole Mandy Rose and whichever Uso it is and all that stuff play out in the hotel room. Dan, my question to you is, how long would you be in that hotel room before you succumb to the advances of Mandy Rose? Are we talking minutes or seconds or fractions of a second? Daniel?
Fantasizing, sorry. Seconds.
Adam, would it change for you?
I would get in trouble, man. I'd probably stay away from that.
So you're in the seconds category as well. I get what you're saying, and I know why you're saying it, but yeah, I mean, honestly, if I just had the invitation, Anna's asleep right now, and I'm sorry, babe, but bye. Just bye. Now let's talk about that whole situation because we have to, because it happened.
Do you wanna try phoning into the Philippines to see if Jaime has an answer?
No, let's not. I think we've kind of beat that dead horse just a little too far into dog food. Nobody cares about.
I'll try. Hello, Jaime. Jaime, how long?
Hey.
How long would it take you to succumb to the advances of Mandy Rose?
ASAP. That's why I'm late, actually.
Oh, okay, so
Okay.
hello,
It was
Jaime.
believable until you said that was why you were late.
Okay, so welcome to the show, Jaime. Way to be 45 minutes late.
What's up? Sorry I'm late, guys.
No,
But
you
it's
don't get an
okay.
introduction.
No, yeah, you're done. You done missed that. You done missed that. Anyway, everybody's bored with this, right? Nobody cares. Am I wrong here? Nobody cares about this.
It depends on what you talk about caring about.
Any of it. The whole damn package.
I am
The affair.
100%. I am 100% seeing it okay with seeing Mandy Rose dressed like that.
Oh, absolutely. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
Pretty bad segment, though.
the pseudo affair, the photographer, oh, hey, I just happened to bring my wife with me on this one, so let's fight in a hotel room. And which, by the way, one thing, that Uso brother, whichever one it is, tell me that guy didn't just, if it was me and my girlfriend was fighting Mandy Rose dressed like that, I'm not breaking him up.
No,
I'm just letting that happen. I may bring some popcorn, maybe call room service, see what they got for me, maybe crack open a beer with the photographer, and just watch. Maybe
Okay,
throw some water on.
First of all, let me just put it to you this way, homeboy. I'm not bringing my girlfriend or wife with me if Mandy Rose tells me to meet her in a hotel room.
I'm just saying, if those two are gonna fight and I can throw water on them and just watch.
Wow, I am a real scumbag.
Yes, you are. Yes, you really, really
and
are.
so are you, because you do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Don't answer any of that.
Yep, totally. Okay. Last question before we close out SmackDown. Jaime, since you're brand new here, at least to this show, this question's going to go to you first. Which is worse, the pain from taking a coast-to-coast through a steel chair, or the embarrassment from taking a coast-to-coast through a cake?
I'd take coast to coast through a chair because I don't want to end like he who must not be named. So I'd rather not go to that pain.
Oh, okay. Anybody else want to jump in there? Daniel, what's your thoughts?
I would rather take it through the cake so I can at least eat some of it.
Yeah, spoken like a true fat guy. With you, brother. Adam?
I don't know, man. Dude. All I gotta say about it, Shane's a little snug, man. If you watch him work, he gets his stuff in there. So either one is gonna hurt.
That's what she said.
Okay. We're going there. All right. One thing I thought about this while I was writing it, and I didn't want to put it in there, but I think it needs to be mentioned. Is there anybody that has been turned into more of a comedic character than Sheamus? You go from defeating Daniel Bryan in 8 seconds at WrestleMania and being a world champion to being a ripoff of a Ford commercial and then getting a cake to the face through 2 feet of Shane McMahon. Like, the dude's a joke now, isn't he?
He was in the main event, man. Is that really a joke?
I mean, he got a cake pushed through his face. The dude got eliminated in the Royal Rumble in 2 seconds.
He's a great character for a lot of reasons. One being, he can do that comedic stuff, but then if he wants to be an ass kicker, you can believe him as that too. So that's why I think I'm fine with it, man. It's just got to change it up. You can't be the same thing all the time.
He's a pale, red-haired Brooklyn brawler.
No,
that's what he's turned into.
No,
that's tough.
I have an idea here. Maybe it's his association with Cesaro. You know how Vince doesn't really take Cesaro seriously, and he already said that on record. Maybe it's his association with Cesaro that pulls him down.
That's a fair point. That's a
I
fair
actually
point.
had never heard that. Does he not like his work, or what? He just doesn't take
it's he's never said it on record. It's the narrative that Vince doesn't like independent wrestling, and Claudio Castiglione was a huge independent wrestler before he became Antonio Cesaro.
Didn't he say it in the podcast with Steve Austin?
It's a work, Jaime. It's a character he's playing. He's playing into it.
But if Vince is taking him seriously, he could have been world champion right now. He's a spectacular performer.
He is a hell of a
Absolutely he is. But who was it that said you can only have so many people on the card? You can only have so many world champions?
I did.
If you have 3 world champions, one of them gets diminished. Right?
I'm not saying give him the
Ezekiel Jackson in the ECW championship?
I think they're fine where they're at. The bar is great, man. They're a great tag team.
I disagree.
It's a comedic spot.
No, I just think that 2 guys of that stature should be taken more seriously. But
what we should be talking about is this nonsense with Shane and The Miz. That's what's nonsense, in my opinion.
I think this is a get me over until The Miz can start building a feud up with Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, who gets control of the kicks, the it or the yes or the no? I mean,
but it's gonna be Daniel Bryan who's the heel, and it's gonna be The Miz who's the babyface.
Can you get behind that? Can the crowd get behind that?
I think so.
I do too. I think that
we're gonna do a new segment here on the show.
Are we?
Yeah.
What is it, Dan?
It's called Dan's Random Question of the Show.
Okay. Sure.
Completely wrestling related.
Okay.
But an obscure question.
Sure.
Who is the 3rd longest reigning NXT champion?
Probably like Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas.
Is it? No, I don't think it's Bo Dallas. It's got to be somebody else.
I don't know.
Samoa Joe.
That's a total guess.
It is Bo Dallas.
God damn.
Dang,
Yeah.
There you go.
He was so goofy on the main roster that everybody forgot how good he was in NXT. Remember how I always say I watch NXT during the old days and even bits and pieces of FCW on YouTube?
Yeah,
Bo Dallas is
I'm sorry,
good performer.
Dan, you're going to have to send me that link because I don't believe that. And that's how we wrap up that segment. Jaime, that took your spot of your fighter match of the show because I really don't want to hear about the same UFC event again.
It's not going to be.
It doesn't matter. It's over. It's done. You were late. You forfeited it. Can we talk about Impact for like 10 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we completely just blew off that pay-per-view they had, Homecoming. I mean, just completely. Did you guys know what happened? Because I thought it was still coming up, but it already happened.
Dude, I'm out of the Impact loop, man. I have no idea.
I saw some bits and pieces of it because they were dumb, and somehow their broadcast got connected to their Twitch. So there was a point where I saw a match and a half. I do actually want to watch it because I did hear really, really good things about it.
That's exactly why I'm bringing it up. I mean, Rich Swann is now the X Division champion after defeating Ethan Page, Jake Christ, and Trey Miguel, who I've never heard of.
What's the X Division? Now, I know what it is, but what is it, though? Explain it.
I really just feel like it's kind of became like their
Intercontinental.
title.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It started off as a division for 215-pound guys or less, as more of their world title thing, and it morphed.
But then, like, Joe was there, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That rule kind of got forgotten when Samoa Joe and then Abyss completely blew it out of the water, and then it became their their mid-card title, which was then, thanks to Hulk Hogan via Austin Aries, became option C, where you could cash in the X Division Championship for a world title shot at the next pay-per-view, which actually happened. That's why the X Division title was vacant. So really, yes, it's a combination of the Money in the Bank and the Intercontinental Championship.
Now, here's one more question. I thought that was the Feast or Famine thing, was like their Money in the
No,
Bank.
Feast or Famine was a terrible idea.
Oh, okay.
It 4 suitcases, 3 of them had title shots, 1 of them had a pink slip. It was god-awful. I mean, just god-awful. Anyway.
That's not terrible.
That was the perfect way to see EC3 go too, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was, but still, it's a terrible idea. Now, the particular match where Rich Swann actually defeated these 3 other guys is Ultimate X, where each corner has
Ultimate X.
I love Ultimate X. I think that's I had a DVD that they were still TNA when they put it out. It was the best of Ultimate X, and I mean,
yeah, good stuff on there, man.
I got it for like $3, and I wish I could find out what happened to it, because there was a match between, I think it was AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and
Petey Williams.
Sabin, Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin.
Oh my gosh, like guys were hanging off and doing 450s off of the ropes above the ring. It was
main event anywhere in the world.
Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. And it wasn't even a main event on the card. That's I can't even remember the pay-per-view.
I'm so happy to see Ethan Page in TNA too, because he's another independent guy that I really liked, but he's not Joey Ryan, but Joey Ryan's who I'm going to compare him to, because Joey Ryan will never be in the WWE.
He does like a penis gimmick?
Yeah. Dong style.
That's great.
But Ethan Page is kind of a comedy wrestler who is extremely talented.
You violated it. We had a standing rule that lasted for over a year. We do not mention Joey Ryan on this show. We don't mention.
I like Joey Ryan, man.
We don't mention the penis plex. We don't mention the lollipop. We don't mention
flex.
Whatever. We don't mention gross body hair.
That was Candice LeRae's move.
Whatever. We don't mention any of it, and yet you just did. You disappoint me, sir. Anyway, Allie and Sue Young defeated Jordan Grace and Kira Hogan by technical submission.
That was part of the match that I saw on Twitch.
Okay. Eddie Edwards defeated Moose in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
I met Moose. Nice guy.
I actually interviewed Eddie Edwards' partner, Dave Richards. Pretty freaking sweet. Sammy Callahan with Dave Chris defeated Willie Mack. Eli Drake defeated Abyss in the Impact Hall of Famer Abyss in a Monsters Ball match.
That's crazy he's still working, man.
It's one of my favorites of all time. The Latin American Exchange, Ortiz and Santana, defended their Impact World Tag Team Championships against the Lucha Brothers of Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. Taya Valkyrie.
Is Conan still with LAX, or is that like long gone?
I think it's Kingston now. Is it still Kingston?
It's so convoluted, it's hard to follow.
Yeah, it's really annoying, actually.
Taya Valkyrie, who I am very disappointed has not been a hot girl in the show, defeated Tessa Blanchard for the Impact Knockouts Championship with Gail Kim, another woman that I am very...
Taya Valkyrie not being one and not Tessa Blanchard?
Tessa Blanchard 5 weeks ago, dude.
I did?
Yes, you absolutely did.
You did Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah.
I mean, she might get it again soon because she's recently single.
Anyway, Taya Valkyrie, or Mrs. Johnny Impact, defeated Tessa Blanchard for the Impact Knockouts Championship with Gail Kim as a special guest referee, and Brian Cage used Option C to challenge Johnny Impact for the Impact World Championship and lost. So John Morrison, Johnny Impact, John Hennigan, what was his other names?
Nitro.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Nitro.
Mundo.
Johnny Mundo, thank you. Wow, 6 names.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Absolute man.
Well, he's still the man for Impact Wrestling as he is still the world champion.
A little bit about, man, I feel like he was so underappreciated when he was in WWE. Like, looking back at his stuff, dude, it was awesome, man. And at least I underappreciated him. I really wish he'd come back.
You see,
it'd be great.
I've always had this fantasy, and that's exactly what it's going to be, is a fantasy, that Impact and the WWE are going to work together, and John Morrison is going to show up at the Royal Rumble, and he's going to do a slow-mo entrance, and it's going to be him and The Miz facing off against one another. Nobody else is in the ring. It's just him and The Miz, and they go back to their tag team that they used to have and whatever that talk show they used to do.
09, 2010.
Right. Just a little throwback to that. And then, all 3 members of 3MB come out, and they all do their strumming thing before Drew McIntyre claymores both of them. And, I always thought that would be a cool little shot, too. Everybody's so obsessed with nostalgia. Tell me that wouldn't be sweet.
What?
I'm actually expecting that to happen at the Royal Rumble.
I would love to see that.
Book it.
That would be fantastic. Either that or you have, Drew's in the ring and Jinder's in there, and then all of a sudden Heath Slater comes to the ring and it's just the 3 of them, and he strums the thing and they both kind of look at him and then pick him up and just kind of throw him out of the ring. Would
that not be a fun spot though?
Are you done yet talking about that? Because man, I walked away because I am sick and tired. You wonder why I bring up Joey Ryan? I am done with your freaking Impact WWE working together fans.
Okay, all right, let's move on. Fine.
To that somewhere else.
Fine, let's move on. Let's move on. Speaking of moving on, we're going to talk about something that I have not moved on from, and that is the Traders moving to the City of Angels, led by... No. Well, I mean, we can. He's no longer with Impact, and he's now with the WWE, apparently. Thoughts?
Cruiserweight champion by September.
If there's still a Cruiserweight division, sure. Jaime?
There will be a Cruiserweight division with the addition of Trevor Lee. Like, he could rake in those indie fans, given the fact that the best wrestling is actually from 205 Live. The best pure wrestling.
Or NXT.
That's the same thing, really. But I pose to you this. Mustafa Ali, the heart and soul of 205 Live, against the Heartbreaker, Trevor Lee. Maybe? Or the Eater of Hearts, something like that. That could be a hell of an opening feud for Trevor Lee in his debut to the WWE. Yes? No? Thoughts? Wrong?
That would be a good. Yeah, no, that would be a good feud.
I could dig it. I could dig it.
Where's Cedric Alexander from? Is he from North or South Carolina?
I mean, there's no difference between the Carolinas. There really isn't.
No, I see where Jaime's going with this, because Trevor Lee's from one of the Carolinas, too.
He's from North Carolina. He's from Cameron, the same town as the Hardys. But still, I mean, I don't like that one.
Cult of Lee.
No, yeah, ooh. A 205 Live stable, perhaps. Not a bad idea, Jaime.
Remember how the other Carolina guys from Impact had a stable with him? They were the Cult of Lee. What if they can form something like that? Because having Trevor Lee there would add athleticism. Same Cedric Alexander level athleticism.
True, but okay. I mean, it's something to watch. Maybe 205 Live is actually going to be something people care about.
That's a wild idea.
Dude, 205 Live is something to watch. It's just with the market of wrestling so
saturated
right now. That's the last thing on anybody's mind.
I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. Now let's talk about what I was trying to talk about, and that's the NFL. Adam, you're from the same area I am. I know you're not necessarily a Rams fan, but you saw what it did to that area. And your team,
sir.
your team kind of is doing the exact same thing they did and leaving their town to go to another one. So you don't like the Rams, right? I mean, you just hate them on sheer
I'm not a
principle.
fan of the Rams.
Right. Who wins? I mean, they're going into New Orleans. We all know the Superdome's a terrible place to play for the opposition. Who wins that game, Adam?
Everything points to the Saints, but like I just said, I'm not a Rams fan, but I'm pulling for the Rams to win the Super Bowl. To me, they are the most complete team left. Their defense is a top 5 defense in my opinion. Their offense, top 5, top 10. It's going to be a close one, I really think. It really depends who has the ball last. If Drew Brees has the ball last, it's game over. But I'm pulling for the Rams.
I cannot wait to hear a response after you just said you're pulling for the Rams.
No, Dan, you have it first.
No, I am not saying anything. Not speaking on this matchup. Ed, this is all you, brother.
The sad thing is, I completely agree with him, with the exception of rooting for the Rams.
God.
Like, he's right, though. I mean, you can't...
I know he's right, but I wanted you to go at him just because he freaking said he's rooting for the Rams.
You can't go against. I'm from here. Like, believe me, even if I'm not a fan, it does suck that we don't have.
Listen, if you would have listened to him talk about the freaking Rams.
Now, hold on. You got to do it justice because it wasn't about the Rams players.
It was about Kroenke.
It was about that filthy troll that owns that team that cares nothing about tradition, cares nothing about fans, who had to sue the Rams, by the way, to get their PSL money back because the Rams were just going to take their money and say, hey, thanks for giving it to us. We're not even going to give you tickets in L.A. No, they had to sue him to get their money back. They dropped in the bucket to him, and they still had to sue him for it. No, that freaking troll ripped the heart out of a city that needed it the most when they were still healing from racial tension. He just said, hey, here's something that we know you all like, but I'm not putting any money into because I really don't want to pay for a freaking building that I promised to pay for anyway. So I'm just going to take what you love and just rip it away from you because I want more money because I already have way more than I'm ever going to spend. I hate the Rams for that reason, but I don't hate their players. And they have a very talented roster.
I love that. That is exactly what I was looking to hear. Now I will answer any questions you have.
Who wins the game, Daniel? I needed that so I can sleep tonight. Who wins the game, Dan?
I think the Saints. You asked me last week, I would have said the Rams. I think I did say the Rams last week.
Yeah, you did. I have it written down somewhere.
I'm going with the Saints. I think the Saints at home are just going to be too much.
Jaime, do you have an opinion here?
I don't get to watch the NFL till Super Bowl.
So, okay.
I'm going with the Saints.
Any particular reason why?
Because I feel like they're better than the Rams. I've been hearing them more often from the Philippines rather than the Rams.
Well, to be fair, that's better than the reason he gave us last week, which was WrestleMania was in New Orleans, so he picked the Saints.
That is the reason he gave us last week. I completely forgot.
So let's move to the AFC, where it's once again one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time against a young quarterback who's taking the league by storm, and it's Tom Brady and the Cheaters, which, by the way, sounds like a hell of a name for a band in the 60s, against the Chiefs. So, Dan, let's go to you first. Does Brady go back to a Super Bowl?
Nope. Chiefs win.
Really?
Chiefs win big.
Big. You think that Bill Belichick has
7 or
not...
more points.
How many?
7 or more points.
I mean, that's a possession. Okay. That's not big. Big's, 15 or more.
I think anything over 3 or 4 points is big against the Patriots.
No.
Like in betting wise, home team gets 3 point deficit no matter what.
Yeah, no, Dan, that's not big. Big is like two possessions.
I'll look up what the spread is right now, and I'll tell you what I like.
I bet it's like Chiefs minus.
4.5.
I was gonna say something. Yeah, something like that.
But okay, Adam, are you? Who you got?
As I don't know if our listeners know, but I'm a huge Raiders fan. Love them, diehard Raiders fan. I absolutely hate
Poor
the Chiefs,
bastard.
110%. I despise them. They're my most hated team of any sport. Well, that's a lie. I hate the Red Sox more. But
We all do.
With all that being said, I think they're going to Super Bowl. And I actually do agree with Dan. I think it's going to be not a blowout, but they're going to beat them pretty handily.
It's a 3-point spread right now, and
Really?
100% I will be putting money on Kansas City.
So really, I mean that's even then.
It's a home field advantage. That's all that is.
Exactly.
And New Orleans, that line actually surprised me. It's New Orleans minus 3.5 right now too. And I wouldn't touch that game with the 10-foot pole. I wouldn't touch that game with Ed's money. I don't value his money that much.
I was gonna say, what money, man? What money? My bank account's in the red.
But I also will say Tom Brady is the absolute GOAT. So
Okay, that's a different discussion for a different show where I'm gonna lambaste you for. Jaime, do you have a pick on this one, or you just? I forget what.
I'm going to go with the Patriots because Tom Brady's really good.
And he has
Sorry,
a hot
I'm
wife.
going with the Chiefs. I want to see an upset.
That's not an upset.
they're favored.
They're favored.
Other favorite.
Okay, Jaime, you're done.
Jaime, you only have one more week of picking football matchups.
Well, two, because we're gonna pick the Pro Bowl just because we can. Yeah, all three are wrong, and let me tell you why.
Because Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
He is not. Tom Brady's not a top 5 greatest quarterback of all time, by the way. But no, screw Tom Brady, screw Edelman and the defense or offense or whatever. It's about one man, and that is
Rob Gronkowski.
no,
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick, the greatest head coach ever. I mean,
Vince Lombardi might have something to say about that.
hey,
Vince Lombardi, it might not be in the top 10.
yeah, I mean, I'm a Packers fan and a Browns fan, so I know all about coaching.
He's a face. He's the top 10 face of the league. I would agree with that.
Yeah, well, his name's on the championship trophy. Duh.
Because they won the first one.
Well, they also won the 4 NFL championships before then, too.
How
But
about Peyton Manning?
that's beside the point. Anyway,
Peyton Manning's like a top 15 quarterback.
hey, will you guys let me finish, you jackasses? Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time, not just because of what he's done as far as an overall win-loss record. It's because the dude's gotten away with cheating so many times. In the face of the NFL, in front of the media, blatantly saying, yes,
I feel.
exactly. I'm your poppy. Yes.
Mamacita.
Latino Heat is Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick is Eddie Guerrero. And I hope his wife is not Vicky. But still.
Hey, Dominic, I got some candy.
Anyway. We gotta end this show right now before it gets any worse. Oh, wait, we still got one thing to do. I'm just gonna call out the matches. All three of you just shout out who's gonna win. Fair enough? Great. Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. And go.
Rusev.
The Bar versus The Miz and Shane McMahon for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
The Bar.
Anybody else?
Shane.
Okay. Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks for the WWE Raw Women's Championship.
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda.
Sasha, just kidding. Ronda.
Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship.
The man.
Jaime.
Becky.
Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship.
Debra.
Brian.
Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa versus Hideo Itami versus Kalisto for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship.
Hideo.
Buddy Murphy.
Who's champion?
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy. Then that could steal a show for real, since Al is my favorite cruiserweight.
Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor for the WWE Universal Championship.
Broccoli.
Brock smash.
Brock.
The 2019 Women's Royal Rumble. Do you guys want me to read the announced participants so far? There has been, there has been 15 announced.
Read them all.
Carmella, Ember Moon, Natalya, Bayley, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox, Zelina Vega, Naomi, Mickie James, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce.
Charlotte.
Ember Moon.
Trish.
Ooh, sexy. The 2019 Men's Royal Rumble, a 30-man Royal Rumble match for a World Championship, shot at WrestleMania 35. Would you guys like to hear the 18 of the 30 announced entrants?
No.
R-Truth, Drew McIntyre, Big E Langston, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Seth Rollins, Jeff Hardy, Dean Ambrose, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, John Cena, Elias, Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, Apollo Crews, Andrade, Mustafa Ali, and Rey Mysterio.
I said no.
Your opinion doesn't matter. Who wins?
Drew McIntyre.
Seth.
Okay. All right. Now we can end the show. Jaime, what did we miss? We know what you missed. 45 minutes of the show. But what did we miss?
Me being on time?
Me being on... Yeah.
Hold on. I love that
Hey,
Dan's impersonation of Jaime is actually like Dan's impersonation of a Mexican impersonating Jaime.
Oh my
What do you
God.
mean?
What do you mean? Like,
Alright, Jaime, what did we miss? Ed's ADHD medicine's wearing off.
it really wore off about 45 minutes ago.
Dang. It's college or NCAA basketball. US NCAA. Like,
Alright, Jaime has
UCLA
no idea
keeps
where we
their
are.
streak alive.
Adam, what did we miss?
What we missed is my random history fact, because Ed took it from me. I'm going to tell it to you now. I watched the 2001 Royal Rumble the other day. In my opinion, everybody thinks that 92 is better, is the best. I disagree. I say 2001. It had the match, not the card, not the whole card, but the match. It has so many intertwining storylines. You get Drew Carey. Stone Cold obviously wins. When Stone Cold and The Rock, they like lock eyes and they see each other. I mean, it's like the pop. It's like Hogan and Warrior in '90. It's, in my opinion, the best Rumble. Go check it out immediately.
Wow.
You spoiled it. Why would I want to watch it? You literally just spoiled it. You told me the end.
Drew Carey was in
Stone
this,
Cold's in it. You know who's gonna win. Come on.
along with Bull Buchanan, Grandmaster Sexay, the Honky Tonk Man,
Mr. Sexy.
K Quick, who is better known
R-Truth.
as Haku, Rikishi,
Haku, the most badass person alive.
Billy Gunn, who apparently did not.
Ed, what did we miss?
It's your turn first. I always go last. This is my show. Duh. What did we miss, Dan?
We missed completely talking about the UK NXT takeover. If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it. By far, top 5 pay-per-view this year for this wrestling season. You need to go watch it if you haven't watched it. One of the best cards out there. We are going to talk about it on the next show.
Okay,
What do you
so
consider the season like WrestleMania to WrestleMania?
Yeah.
well, I was gonna get to that. Yes, that gets to my what did we miss, guys? We're coming to an end. Season 3 of the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast, and why it's Season 3 is because our numbering system kind of got screwed up somewhere. But Season 3 is coming to an end, and what we are gonna do is have a 2-hour special the week before WrestleMania, where we're going to go through WrestleMania history. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 35. We're going to talk about how the WWE has changed since WrestleMania 34. We're going to do another WrestleFakia with a surprise set of rosters that neither of the two, Jaime or Dan, will see until they are actually revealed live on the show. Adam will be judging. I will be hosting. That's a 2-hour Season 3 finale of the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast the week before WrestleMania, provided Dan hasn't schlepped his way to the home of the show of shows. And if he has, we're still going to do it anyway. We just may have somebody fill in for him. So that's what you guys can look forward to. That is an official announcement nobody's heard until it just came out of my mouth. Not even 3 guys on the show knew that was happening.
Cue the gasp.
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, we would normally pimp ourselves here, but we're 15 minutes over, and I really don't want to edit this show, so it's going to air.
Eating /Jenny Bananas.
Sure. And you can find Jaime at Babel. Adam's teaching at some college in a small college town, and nobody gives a care. Illinois.
On Twitter at AdamMIZ93. I actually remember this stuff.
Fantastic. But being that it's my show and I'm the one that gets to press the stop button, you can always find me in southeastern Ohio at the Journal. That's the Noble County Journal, or the Journal and Noble County Leader. That's journal-leader.com. You can also find me on Twitter. That's EDATTHEJOURNAL. That's at the Journal. You can find me on Twitter for all the coverage of Caldwell and Shenandoah High Schools, for all of your prep sports coverage in and around Noble County, Ohio's youngest county. Tune in to journal-leader.com or follow me on Twitter. That will bring us to an end on the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. We'd like to thank you all for listening, and as always, if you're not down with the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast, Daniel has 2 words for you.
Omega Okada, and keep listening.